So when I set out to film this video the first time, I had everything planned out. I was using a new lens, I was going to get a blurred background and keep myself nice and crisp. I had a new set of lighting, new microphone. I was ready to put my tech into action and level up my video. I spent about an hour and a half getting everything ready, scripting it, sitting down, recording all the parts. Put it onto my computer only to find that not only was the background blurry, but I was totally blurry as well. I was so frustrated. I came out of my office, there was a bag on the ground, I kicked it across the room. But here's the funny thing, I had that moment where I said, Lori, the universe is trying to tell you something. You were filming a video on resilience, it went totally south, and now you're not being very resilient. So I had a chance to actually put into action what I'm about to tell you. Here's the thing, crappy things happen to all of us. We often experience setbacks, failures, things that feel unfair, things that happen that we don't intend, things that make our days bad. And what we need to learn how to do is to recover from those things. We need to learn how to not get derailed when things go south. So I'm going to give you 3 characteristics of resilient people and tell you how you can bring those into your own life. Hey, I'm Lori Sulpizio. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to talk about 3 characteristics of resilient people. The ability to rebound after setbacks, to get up after being knocked down, to recover after hard times could be the most critical and useful skill in life. But how do we even develop the skill to do that? And is it possible to build resilience? I'm going to tell you the answer is yes. It's absolutely possible, and there is a ton of research on how to nurture and develop resilience. And we've done a lot of work on understanding the characteristics of people who demonstrate resilience. So I'm going to give you 3 foundational skills so that you can become a more resilient person. You may not be surprised to know that these skills are rooted in your mindset. It's the way you look at the world. It's the way you look at what happens to you. I talk a lot about how our mindset is at the core of who we are, and it determines our attitude, and it really paves the way for success. A strong and cultivated mindset is a prerequisite for mental toughness and being resilient. First, resilient people understand that shitty things happen. This is where mindset comes in. People who are resilient are able to move through hard times because they know that hard things happen. They understand that hard is a part of life. Things like disappointments, heartbreak, even tragedies, they're all a part of life. While we all want to have an amazingly happy and positive life all the time, that's just not realistic. Unfortunately, suffering is inevitable. It's unavoidable. Negative emotions, negative situations, these are part of the human experience. So why is knowing this so important? Well, when you know that hard things will happen to you, then you're less likely to fall into a victim mentality. You're less likely to experience those hard things and then think, this isn't fair, life's not fair, why did this happen to me? What did I do to deserve this? All of those thoughts aren't resilient thoughts. I mean, think about it. Nobody deserves to have a loved one die too soon. Nobody deserves to be unjustly fired from their job. No athlete deserves to get injured in the middle of a big season. Nobody deserves to have their flight canceled on their way to vacation. Nobody deserves to get fatally sick. Bad things just happen. And while resilient people, they don't seek out hard things and they don't invite them into their life, they don't experience hard and then spend time wallowing in the injustice or the unfairness or the victim mentality that would keep them stuck. So last night, after I stopped kicking the bags that were on the floor down the hallway, I thought to myself, look, Lori, you're not the only person who's recorded a video and found out that the sound didn't work, the video was poor quality, the lighting looked off. This happens a lot. It's part of the learning curve. Figure out what you need to do and do it again. So it's that idea that, look, these things are gonna happen. Don't let them derail you and don't get stuck wishing, why did this happen to me? Instead, no, dang it, here's that crap that happens, it happened to me this time, I need to move forward. The second characteristic that resilient people have is knowing where to put their attention. They know what to focus on. So they put their attention and focus on the things that they can change and what they have power and agency over. Resilient people don't let their attention and energy get swept away by things they have no control over. And of course, They do get hooked by tough emotions and situations. They do get wrapped into negative thoughts from time to time, but they're quickly able to recognize that their energy is being engaged by something that is not helpful, that they have no control over. And then they can refocus their thought and move through it and rebound out of that quickly. We all get so emotionally hooked by things that are outside of our control. We get upset, resentful, frustrated, and these end up just being wasted emotions that take up our energy because there's nothing we can do about the source of these negative emotions. So to practice resilience, take that situation that's getting you down and focus on what you can control. Check your thoughts. Ask yourself, are you getting distracted and derailed by something you have no power over? Then you're able to refocus your attention to where you do have the power to make a change. Another thing we know about resilient people is they put their attention on something they're grateful for, an opportunity that comes from the situation, or learning that might be available. But here's the thing, when you're deep in pain or grief, sometimes it's really tough to get to a place of gratitude or to see the learning or the meaning in something. Sometimes crappy situations just require us to be present to those hard feelings. So the attention to what you're grateful for can come later. But know that resilient people are able to shift the focus away from the terrible aspects and the woe is me mentality and onto where can I make a difference in the situation? What's mine to control? Where are the places then that I can find movement forward, meaning, and opportunity? The third characteristic that resilient people have is they ask themselves, is this serving me? Resilient people check in with themselves and ask, are my actions helping me or are my actions hurting me? Is what I'm doing right now getting me closer to what I want for myself and for my life? Is what I'm doing right now furthering my purpose and helping me meet my goals or accomplish my tasks? So when you're feeling sad day after day and you're going into your pantry, getting that piece of chocolate to dip into that jar of peanut butter, or when you're about to pour yourself that extra glass of wine and return to the couch to sit down in your sadness, ask yourself, is this behavior helping me move forward? If the answer is no, then you can explore what kind of behavior would be helpful in that moment. And when we're going through really hard times, we do need to take some time to take a day off or just take care of ourselves. But again, there's ways to do that with helpful behaviors. Mentally and emotionally recovering might look like taking a walk outside, doing a yoga class, meeting a close friend for lunch, calling somebody who can be there to support you. Those are helpful behaviors. Look, we're never going to be able to avoid difficult times. That's the first thing you have to know. And the hard thing is when these difficult things happen to us and it feels like they were put upon us and we had little to nothing to do with the circumstance. And then now we're left struggling in this mess of a situation. That is hard, but that's life. That's the human condition. Bad things happen to good people. So the opportunity for every one of us is to figure out how to build up the skill of resilience so we can move through those times. We want to give ourselves what we need and give ourselves a chance to recover and refill our cup. And that does include support, love, rest, and recovery. But we also want to help ourselves get back up when we get knocked down and move forward. I mean, really, mindset is the biggest part of yourself that you can nurture. And resilience comes from a strong mindset. It doesn't matter if you're a business leader for a multi-billion-dollar company, a teacher, a sports coach, a parent. Not only is your mindset and your ability to show resilience critical, but you can model that and develop that in the people that are around you. Resilience is a skill that can be learned, and you learn it from nurturing that mindset. Think about your thoughts. Think about thinking and cultivate the thoughts that you want to have in your head. So one, you can know that bad things happen and don't be shocked by them. You can put your attention on the things that you can control, and then you can ask yourself, is this helping me or is this harming me? If the past 2.5 years with COVID and this pandemic has showed us anything, it showed us that we need to learn how to get through tough times. We need to help our kids learn to get through tough times. We need to nurture and build up our mindset so we're able to rebound from hard setbacks. This is where resilience comes in. This is where cultivating your mindset comes in. So spend time and figure out how to grow that. I'm Larissa Pizio. Thank you so much for being with me. This video is not blurry. Finally, I got it done. I had to practice the exact skills that I talked about in this video, and you can practice them too. I'll see you next time.